Hello, my name's Mark, and I'm here in my carport actually, but my whole house has turned into a design studio, a design and build. And with me is Luke Rebar, and Luke has been working with me this summer for a long time. I live close to a university, and a lot of my friends build things, so we started with this idea of using this galvanized steel tubing as a way of constructing for small. You get it in front of you, Luke? Anyway, we only have one microphone, so we're going to have to share this as we make it. But we started working with this galvanized steel tubing. And the carport that I'm in is out of this, and we got a greenhouse in the back and a greenhouse in the front. But I put an ad in that Craigslist trying to find a helper. And I told them that they had to have a lot of really good skills. Well, what happened? Somebody wrote me back a letter and said, I don't have those skills, but I'm a great learner. And that by teaching me, you would make a better video. Well, this is Luke. And Luke, say hi to the camera. Because he's going to, oh, by the way, Luke's going to show you how to build his red wagon, the red wagon that he built all summer. But it wasn't, I just want to say this much. The red wagon is the end product. We built maybe 7 with different designs before we came to what I think is an optimum design, which Luke and I worked together. It's Luke.
Thank you, Mark. I'm here to tell you about the red wagon that which we designed.
Yeah.
It's great in a lot of ways. 3 specific ones that I determined. Firstly, it's incredibly strong. It's very durable. It won't break. Secondly, it holds a lot. And thirdly, it's very economical to produce. So it doesn't cost, so that basically means it doesn't cost you a lot of money, or it also doesn't take you a lot of time to build, which is great when you have to make a wagon for yourself.
Yeah.
And when you have to make it to sell it.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is show you, Luke, we started out building with cubes and then we evolved into a system of using plywood. Now, if Luke will grab the camera, I'll show you a little bit about our system, and then I'll take the camera, and we'll let Luke show you how to do it. So here's how it works. What we're doing is we're developing a system for farm infrastructure and garden construction. Now, when Luke was first coming to work, we were going to make chicken tractors. But then, out of a stroke of something, I saw this wagon that I had made for making assemblies and stuff, and I said, let's just make wagons instead. So Luke started out making a wagon that's over there, and we'll show you. But anyway, we're making garden construction and farm infrastructure. Now, here are some of the products that you can make. You can make potting benches, fencing, mobile washing stations, chicken pens, greenhouses, high tunnels, pet enclosures, food carts, and all kinds of wagons for harvesting. Now, these garden utility carts and garden carts. The reason we call them garden carts is those for hauling stuff in the garden and in the field. But the utility carts are mobile sinks, mobile cooking stations, and I would like to tell you one thing about future products and all. I live in a place where there's a lot of small organic farmers, and I believe that we can set up a system where we dehydrate their extra food, because we've got a design for a dehydrator that's really good in the field, and then those can be brought together in a cooperative sense, organized by the university, and then we will have a processing system for all this organic food that's going to waste, and we can make chips and cookies and crackers. And also, right close to here is a place called the Linus Pauling Institute, and they study food nutrition. And I think they can help us with the farmers to make a system of making really healthy food. Okay, let's see what else we have. Okay, well, here's about the design. We'll go into these designs later, but we have 2 basic systems of design. One of them is we build a cube, and that's how we started. And then Luke working together, came up with this panel system, which we're going to show you to making wagons. And by the way, it's the strongest thing I have ever worked with. It's really good. So they're easy to understand, the design system, and it's standardized processes. It adapts to almost anything you want to build. Adaptability, what Luke wanted to build before the summer was his an ice cream wagon. You know, he wanted to build a cube and then put in the insulation and all. It works really well. I'll show you this later. At the end of this video, we'll show you some details on how to make things like that. Well, right here is a mobile washing station. And of course, it's incomplete. We're going to put a back on it and put the water comes down and everything. Well, right now, I tell you what, I've talked enough. Let's let Luke show you how to build one of these panels and then how the panels are assembled so that he makes a wagon for you.
Cutting metal is as easy as pie. Here's a quick example. See? Just as easy as pie. Next easy step that you have to do is deburring. You deburr to avoid injuring yourself or cutting yourself on the burrs on the metal. Let me demonstrate very quickly. You deburr in 3 easy steps. First, you go straight up against the grinding wheel. Next, you go sideways against the grinding wheel with the end of the pipe. And third, you use the end of the pipe and you use it against the wire wheel to remove any of the smaller burrs. After deburring the pipe, the next thing you have to do is drill out the Simpson strong tie so you can fit your number 8 screw through with a 3/16 drill bit. After that, you have to drill your hole in the metal over here with a 1/8 drill bit so you can put the screw in. Then you bring the Simpson strong tie over, put it on, and put the screw in with your drill. Here, let me demonstrate. All drilled out. That's the process.
Well, the final process after you've cut the metal and screwed it down and everything is there's a lot of heavy edges that hang over the edge, and Luke's going to show us how to hammer those down. Go ahead, Luke.
You begin by putting a hammer underneath to provide some counterweight when you're hammering, because that's just how it's done.
One of the most wonderful things that happened this year is that we learned how to use standardized sizes of plywood to make the panels, because you can buy them at Home Depot already cut 2 foot by 4 foot, but you have to cut off the end of some of them to make them a shorter length. So Luke's going to show that, and he's also going to show you that we use the special little blade for cutting the EMT, the metal tubing, and we use a 10 teeth per inch with a longer blade to cut the plywood. Luke, you want to show him how to change blades and cut this piece of plywood? Luke's taking out the small one, and he's putting in this 10 teeth per inch, and he's got a line there, and he's getting ready to cut it. Yep. And
Hello, I'm Luke from Farm Infrastructure, and today I will be telling you about the garden cart or utility cart which we designed and its various advantages. Our garden cart can carry a lot of stuff. In other words, it has a high load capacity. And that's for a few reasons. Firstly, our wheel system we use for a garden cart consists of a hand truck like the one you see here. We do this because these are made to carry 800 pounds, and using them as a wheel system means that we start with something carrying 800 pounds, which increases the amount of weight that the wagon can carry. The second reason is our garden cart is built strong and durable, so it won't break when it's carrying a lot of stuff. Now let's talk about the load capacity and volume. Our garden cart is 3.5 feet from here to here, 2 feet up to down, and 2 feet in width here. This allows us to carry 2 trash cans inside, which is a great amount to be able to carry, because trash cans are one of the best ways to be able to carry a lot of stuff, especially if you're doing work in a garden or a shop. Our garden cart is very strong and durable for a few reasons. Firstly, the wheel system we use. We use a hand truck like the one we have right here for our primary wheel system. You can see one on the cart right here. We use that because these hand trucks are rated for 800 pounds by the various manufacturers, and they're relatively cheap. That means that the wagon can carry a lot, like we showed earlier. Another reason is we use galvanized steel tubing or electrical metal tubing, more specifically, for building the cart. It's made of steel, as the name suggests, and steel is strong and durable, so it'll hold for a long time. Also, galvanized steel tubing doesn't rust, so it'll last longer. A third reason is we use Simpson strong ties to hold things together on our wagon. And Simpson strong ties are the best connectors in the business for connecting different things. Top of the line. You should always use those. And the last reason is because we use marine grade plywood to build our wagon like you see on the wagon right here. And marine grade plywood is the best plywood you can buy. So our wagons stay strong and durable for your use. This is a utility cart I've built right here. It has everything done that you essentially need to do. It has the handles here, which you haven't seen on some of the other carts, as one of those features. This cart here took me less than 4 hours to produce, which is a great time to produce it in. And it's going to save you a boatload of cash. These are materials we use to build our garden carts. First one we use the most of is the electrical metal tubing, or EMT. You can buy this at any hardware store, and it's really cheap and great. We use 1/2 inch primarily, and 3/4 for the handles. We also use Simpson strong ties, like you see here. Simpson strong ties are the best connectors in the business, and you should always use them to build these kinds of things. Pipe clamps are another piece of this. Pipe clamps are used to secure the hand truck to the bottom of the garden cart, and to secure the bars which hold the hand truck to the bottom of the garden cart. They're critical. Also, we use 3 different sizes of screws. We use 8 by 3/4, 8 by 1/2, and 6 by 3/8 for the various uses. We use plywood for the siding on our garden carts. Also, we paint it often with paint like you see here. We use 4 bolts on average to secure the back of our hand truck to the garden cart, though the number can vary based on your preference. These are the tools necessary for building a utility cart. First, you have an impact driver like here. Impact drivers are used to put in screws. Next, you have two drills here. One with a 1/8 inch drill bit, one with a 3/16 inch drill bit. For clamping, you use 4 sets of vice grips when you need to hold something together for screwing or drilling. When you're holding the pipe down on the table, you use A-clamps like here. A sawzall is used to cut the pipe, which is put in the vise for cutting. I strongly recommend using a vise, though you could just clamp stuff down instead when you're cutting the pipe. Also, you need a set of tin snips like we have here for cutting these Simpson strong ties so they fit best on the wagons. You use 2 different kinds of hammers. You use a rubber mallet like you have right here, and that's used to hit things into place when necessary. And you use a ball peen hammer like you have right here to hit down the Simpson strong ties so you don't get cut on them. And the last thing we use, and this one is critical, we use a table like we have right here. And this is a great work table. We will be releasing a video later on how we built this work table. Garden carts or utility carts provide a great introduction to our system of building. And our system of building allows you to build a lot of different things, which is shown on this board here. I'm also going to show you built versions of a few of them right now. So the first one I'm going to show you is a chicken tractor. And chicken tractors, like you see here, are essentially movable chicken coops with big price tags. These chicken tractors use recycled bicycle wheels for the wheel system, which keeps them on the cheaper side. It's a great design, and we'll show you a video for it later. Another thing you can build is fencing like you have right here. This is strong, durable fencing, which is great for keeping all kinds of things fenced off. Could be anything from your yard to an animal enclosure to just a fence to keep coyotes out off your property. And we'll release the video on this later. Got 2 more things to show you. Right here we have a potting and planting station. And it's great because on top you can put stuff, and you have another layer down here to put more stuff for your potting and planting needs. This up here is the top stuff from the office equipment that you use for shelving, and it's cheap and great. We'll release a video stuff on this later. And lastly, for now, we have a mobile washing station. And this is great because if you're like me, after working outside, you need to clean your hands occasionally, but you don't want to have to go inside every time. So you can just hook this up to a couple hoses and wash your hands in it. You can also use it to clean food in the field or use it on a construction site for hand cleaning. This is a synopsis of the building project. First, you build 4 frames like this around the different size pieces of plywood you need to make the different panels for the cart. Next, you take the 4 frames and assemble them to build the body of the cart. And finally, you attach the hand truck to the bottom of the garden cart or utility cart. Alternately, if you would like an in-depth process for building this, then please purchase our instruction manual for all these different projects we've built. Every project I've shown you so far will be in our instruction manual, so you can build all of them for the price of just $10. I'm Luke with Farm Infrastructure, and this video has covered the wagon which we designed. Remember to purchase our instruction manual so you can produce our wagon and all these other things you've seen. Thank you, and goodbye.